In the scientific community of the modern world, a certain version of history has taken shape, one that leaves no room even for a hint of the existence of ancient, highly developed civilizations. However, the world continues to evolve. Old theories are being refuted due to new facts. History is the kind of science that tries to rely on old research and dogmas while ignoring new facts and discoveries. Hello, my friend. You're watching the Kurkurtop channel. The monkey vessel from pre-Columbian America. What is so interesting about it? We're talking about a vessel. It's unknown what it was filled with, but making it was quite difficult. It is made entirely of obsidian. This stone, although it can be worked, is very difficult to shape. The Aztecs were a people who created one of the most powerful states in pre-Columbian America. Only the Spaniards managed to bring its prosperity to an end. Today we know about these people not only from written sources, but also from archaeological discoveries. One of them is an obsidian vessel on which you can see a monkey. When specialists began to study the find, they were very surprised. How could such high-quality work have been done in such ancient times? If it were clay, there would be no questions. But here, it's obsidian. Actually, items made from this material were known before, but they can't be considered high art. For example, arrowheads are quite simple and rough. But here, the technology is so advanced. It's unsurprising that researchers from various places came to study the materials and developed their own theories. Overall, their thoughts came down to the idea that the Aztecs couldn't have made this vessel. Their skills were clearly not enough for that. Mysterious sacred cubes from India. Recently in central England, on the banks of the River Sow, near Coventry, a local resident, Will Wilrid, found a pile of strange cubes in the shallow water while fishing. They are made of lead and covered with strange symbols. This suggests that the objects might have a religious purpose. With the help of an open online survey, it was discovered that the symbols are Hindu. The cubes were probably brought from India to England, but due to their lack of practical use, they ended up being thrown away. That's the main mystery. So far, no one has managed to figure out the purpose of these unusual objects. The symbols on the faces repeat, which makes the pattern resemble Sudoku, since each column, row, and diagonal gives a single value. This suggests that the cubes are yantras, magical tools for focusing attention and performing various rituals in Hinduism. The material of the cubes is lead. In Hindu astrology, it is a symbol of Rahu, one of the parts of the moon's orbit. Thus, these could be Rahu yantras, that is, a ritual set. Along with the cubes, a coin was found depicting a multi-armed woman riding a lion. This is a sign of Durga, the mother goddess. Therefore, it is possible that the cubes were intended for prayers addressed to her. While enthusiasts are speculating, scientists are trying to determine the age of the cubes. The latest voltamperimetric method, when used with lead, has an error margin of 150 years, which may not matter when dealing with several millennia. But what if the cubes were made relatively recently? A map from 2,000 years ago. It's even older than the mysterious Piri race maps. That one is dated to 500 years ago. And the stone map found in Mexico is believed to have been created sometime between 200 BC and 200 AD. It's 1,500 years older than the Piri race map. The carving's meaning is still unclear, and the inscriptions remain undeciphered, but the first slab has been partially understood. It's a map of the nearby lands. Rivers and ravines are shown as lines, while nearby settlements are depicted with depressions and circles. Overall, the map quite accurately matches the southern slope of the Fuego de Colima volcanoes, according to scientists. It's impossible to date the carvings on the basalt slab. Something is carved on it, but when it was done is unknown. It's also impossible to date the basalt slab itself. Well, it's just a stone. But you can link this stone to the volcanic eruption and figure out how early this map could have been made. And the drawings themselves can be dated based on general information from excavations. Many items have been found there that can be dated using standard methods, and they have drawings made with the same technique. That's why the dating of this map is quite accurate, about 2,000 years ago, give or take 200 years. A 1,700-year-old board game. A Roman board game found in a Norwegian burial pit consists of bone dice and 18 round pieces, which were used by a person of significant status. The game, called Ludus Latrunculorum, consists of 19 pieces, including elongated dice, which are used in battles between two players. Along with the game, scientists discovered clay pottery, bone fragments, a bronze object, and burnt glass. The artifacts were found in a cremation pit, which is believed to be the burial site of a person of high status. Ludus Latrunculorum is a strategy game in which two players face each other with the goal of capturing the opponent's pieces. Each player has an equal number of pieces, which are distinguished by color from those of their opponent. In some versions of this game, each player also has a dux, a special piece with enhanced abilities. The pieces move across the board and capture one another by surrounding opposing pieces. And a piece of one color caught between two others is removed from the game. The people who played such games were the local aristocracy or upper class. The game demonstrated that you had time, wealth, and the ability to think strategically. 8 jars of ancient gold coins. It happened in sunny California. A middle-aged couple was walking their pet on the land adjacent to their home. During a regular walk, the dog became interested in some rusty metal remains. Intrigued, the couple decided to dig it up and take a look. It turned out to be a tin can. In disbelief, barely managing to open it, the couple couldn't believe their eyes. Inside were dollar coins made of pure gold. They dug up 5 more cans like this. They decided to buy a metal detector and found 2 more. In total, 8 cans filled with gold coins in excellent condition were discovered. Experts estimated the find at about $10 million. A total of 1,427 coins were counted, with denominations ranging from $5 to $20. Their authenticity was confirmed. Judging by the minting dates from 1847 to 1894, and because the jars were found at different depths, experts suggest that the treasure was buried in several stages at the end of the 19th century. At least one of these coins could be worth $1 million. The lucky couple who found the treasure decided to sell most of the coins on Amazon, keep a few for themselves, and share some with the local museum. The couple had moved to this property just a few years before the events described, but the man said that he had walked past this very valuable spot many times. He had never noticed anything unusual there. What is the meteorite that fell in Canada made of? In January 2000, a large meteorite fell in Canada, puzzling scientists. The meteorite fell into Tagish Lake. After the meteorite fragments were recovered, they were preserved for study. During the examination of the fragments, scientists discovered that they are rich in carbon and amino acids. It was also found that the meteorite had a highly alkaline environment. As a result, researchers learned that 7 billion years ago, Earth's atmosphere was 70% carbon dioxide. More than 700,000 artifacts. Back in 2003, the authorities of Amsterdam decided to build a new metro line. To do this, they had to drain 2 old canals, Damrak and Rokin. Once these canals were branches of the Amstel River and were widely used as transport arteries. It turned out that the bottom of these canals was literally strewn with various artifacts. Some of them date back to the 13th century. Specialists dug 20 meters deep into the cultural layer, and the deeper they went, the older the finds they discovered. A huge number of coins from different countries and periods were found. Among them, there were many Russian coins. Apparently, our citizens threw them in as souvenirs, and it was decided to catalog and digitize all the finds. For this, a special resource was created where anyone can view the finds and even make their own collage from what was discovered. Evidence of life on Earth 3.5 billion years ago. Geologists from the University of New South Wales conducted a chemical analysis of fossils that were found back in the 1980s in the Australian desert. The fossils are more than 3.5 billion years old, and scientists suspected that there were organic traces on them. However, they were technically unable to prove it. Previously, scientists believed that the oldest stromatolites with organic traces ever found were fossils from Greenland, which were 3.7 billion years old. However, during chemical research, scientists did not find organic traces in this rock. Scientists conducted similar work with the fossils from Australia. Scanning electron microscopy and scanning transmission electron microscopy, energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy, and Raman spectroscopy nanoscale secondary ion mass spectrometry, and stable carbon isotope analysis. Geologists note that they had to use so many methods to reliably determine the presence of organic material in the fossils. If only one method detected organics and others did not, the conclusion would not have indicated life in the stromatolites. The team's analysis showed that the stromatolites are mainly composed of a mineral called pyrite, which is permeated with nanoscale pores. This pyrite contains inclusions of nitrogen-containing organic material, as well as threads of organic matter that are very similar to remnants of biofilms formed by microbial colonies. Unknown ancient race. In 2008, in a cave in the Siberian region, researchers discovered an ancient human fossil. At first, researchers believed that it must belong to a Neanderthal. However, after testing, the ancient individual was not identified. It does not belong to any of the known ancient races. At the same time, when comparing mitochondria, there are 385 differences between the ancient individual and modern humans. Who did it belong to? In 2012, thanks to the recombination of fossil DNA, scientists discovered that the ancient individual must have been a descendant of Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. He was about 45,000 years old. Thanks to a large amount of analysis and data comparison, researchers also discovered that about 45,000 years ago, due to the hybridization of Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, there was a demographic explosion on Earth. And it was believed that around 60,000 years ago, the common ancestor of Europeans and Asians, after leaving Africa, began to interbreed with Neanderthals. To make sure you don't miss the next video and to be one of the first to see it, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Thank you for watching. See you all next time.